All right. Let's make sure everything is working. All right. We look like we're working to me. Well, we are back for another game. Dead Man's Hand. Got ourselves another campaign game between the upstanding lawmen and the evil cultists. We got our cult leader, Otter, there, and our Sheriff Fox. So, last time, the cultists tried to break into the general store and steal some stuff, but they were driven off before they can do that. So this time they're going to try to get their leader out of jail. So we've got our jail here. So we're going to say that he was captured last time. It was actually one shot from like across the map, which was pretty awesome. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to put him in jail. There he is right there in jail, hanging out. Yeah, we're basically going to have him try to escape today. So, what we're looking at is putting the cult on this side of the board, including their giant monster, which I'll show off in a second. So this time we have kind of a like tier 2 boss for them, and then a whole bunch of thugs essentially. As they came out in force this time, including this Mama Jama, who is sort of their secret weapon. So this is a giant monster bear from, I want to say Arc Villain Games, but I don't know if that's right. They're the ones that do the Cute Heresy, I think it's called. But this was included in their pack this month, and I was like, wow, I need to get that. So I got it off of my mini factory. And painted him all up to go with my cult guys, so they have themselves a big bruiser. Now, I wanted to use the official rules for that monster, because there are rules for a quote-unquote haunted bear, and that's what I was going to use for that. However, I cannot find, for the life of me, a digital copy of The Curse of Dead Man's Hand, which is sort of like the horror expansion for Dead Man's Hand. So because of that, we're just going to make up our own rules for the monster bear today. So we will get to him when it matters. But just to show the rules that we are using for our guys, we are using the lawmen for the lawmen and the outlaws for the outlaws. Now the monster bear, he's pretty much going to be the boss stat line here, except he's going to have 2 hand-to-hand. He doesn't have any shooting. And I'm going to give him 10 life, and I'm also going to say he's equipped with a spear, rules-wise. So what this means is that anytime he hits anyone, they're also going to have to make a nerve test. I think that's a pretty fair thing for a giant monster bear mauling you. I think that's a pretty good stats equivalent, so that's what we're going to do for our monster bear today. Alright. Now, the other folks, they're kind of all strewn around town. So I figure the sheriff and the deputy can be inside the law office, because that makes sense to me. And let's see. We've got Mr. Squirrel here. Good little Mr. Squirrel. Come on, focus on Mr. Squirrel. Yeah, we got little Mr. Squirrel here. I'm going to say Mr. Squirrel actually owns the goods store. And we got Mrs. Squirrel here. So we're going to say they actually own the goods store. So I'm going to put them over there. And then we've got Mrs. Coyote, who was the freaking star of the show last time. She was amazing. We're going to say she was earning some well-earned R&R at the whorehouse. And I've got this guy here who's supposed to be like a railroad worker, kind of Native American-y. But he's got a bow. And I think I'm just going to put him, honestly, like in flat out in the middle of town. So we'll just put him right here. So yeah, so that's how we're going to start up today for our games. We got all of our cultists at one side. They need to get in and break out their boss, who's stuck in jail. And it should be pretty good. To break the boss out, they just need to do like a scenario action, which basically means they need to pass a nerve test in a specific location. That's how you do all the scenario actions in this game. And it lets you do whatever specific action that scenario calls for. So in this case, it'll be getting Mr. Otter out of jail. If they are never any like good guys in the jailhouse, Mr. Otter can try to get himself out of jail. So he can try to escape. So yeah, so it should be good. So let's shuffle our cards. We've got black cards for the bad guys and red cards for the good guys. And we're going to go ahead and see what we get for each. Bad guys got an ace. Ooh. I'm going to give that ace to the leader over there. There we go. You can see that all better. I'm going to give it to the leader there. He's going to get the ace. Alright, and then for the good guys, we have an 8. I'm going to give that to Mr. Squirrel. Alright, then going back and forth, we're going to put one down for that guy. We're going to put one down for this guy. The dude next to him. The cultist fox. And then the monster bear. And then over here we've got the Miss Coyote, Mr. Coyote, and then we'll do Miss Squirrel over there. Bonk. And then we've got our deputy and our sheriff. Alright, so everybody's got their initiative card. So what we're going to do is we're going to just start flipping one, and we'll flip one for one and then one for the other. So Pole Otter has a king. Coyote's got a 4. Bad Guy Fox has a jack. Mrs. Squirrel has a 10. Weasel with a rifle's got a joker. Rip. Mr. Badger's got a 9. Weasel with a pistol has a queen. Our sheriff has a jack. Last but not least, Monster Bear has a 4. Alright, so let's go ahead and give ourselves a hand of cards. And we'll give ourselves 3 cards just like last time. We'll see what we get. Alright, so let's see. We have I Like the Way You Die, Boy. Play as your character is activated. Take one free aim action immediately, then declare and resolve your actions. May alternatively be used to cancel an opponent's duck or quick shot interruption. Play on an enemy character if they have to take a nerve test. The nerve test is automatically failed. And play on an opposing character after it declares its actions for the turn. Following the first shot rolled for, the weapon jams. The character receives an out of ammo marker, and the further shots are lost. Alright, so that's our cards. It's pretty good. Just gotta scooch. I'll remember it's there. Alright, so who's first? Looks like pretty much all the cultists go first. Except for the monster bear and the guy with the Joker. All the others get to go first, essentially. So, alright. Well, I'm going to say they're all going to try to focus on getting their boss out of jail. So, there they are. Alright, so we got this guy here, and I'm going to say they're going to try to sort of like fight their way there. That makes sense to me. So he is going to move, and then he is going to move again to get himself behind this cover here. So he wants a little bit of cover if he can have it. And he's going to take a shot at our bow-wielding coyote right there. So we're looking at yeah, let's do the pink dice for them. This is a 20, right? No, this is only a 12. Interesting. I thought that was a 20. Alright, so rainbow dice it is. Alright, so here we got. We got a 13. There's going to be 2 -1s for the movement. Or no, it's going to be 1 -1 because he moved twice. So that's going to make that a 12. And then he is not within close range. So it's not going to... The pistol's not going to matter. But he's also going to get a +1 for the rifle, for being the boss. Or the, like, second boss. And that means... I think a wound, because it's over 10, but not to 15. Yep. Ah! There we go. 11 to 14 gets it on the fire marker. 15 to 18 is our fire marker nerve test. Alright, so he scores a wound. Da-da-da-da. Boop. Alright. So that is him spent right there. Next we've got the king, which is the otter with the spear. So he doesn't have any ranged weapons. So I think I'm just going to run him essentially. Bonk. 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 Oh, I forgot to see what the coyote lady was. She's a 3. Oof. Man, I guess all the civilian people are really caught off guard. They were not expecting to be attacked, I guess. Alright, that one's spent. Next we've got a queen, which is the weasel there. Boop. Boop. And we'll say he's going to take a shot too. So he's not at long range. He's at medium range. So he's going to take a shot too. So we're looking at a 4. So it doesn't matter what pluses he has, that misses. Because it's way too freaking low. Okay. And that was our queen here. So last but not least, really all the cultists did get to go first. It really is like they got the jump on them. It's pretty good. Last but not least, we've got our Jack. And he's essentially going to do the same thing that everybody else has done. So that is Mr. Fox here. Bonk. To there. To there. They're just running down Main Street taking them shots. And he's going to shoot at the poor Mr. Coyote as well. On a 3, he's definitely not hitting shit. Okay, so that's finally the end of all the cultists' turn. So first up for the good guys, we have our sheriff, the Sheriff Fox. He is the first for our good guys with his Jack. I'm debating having him move out or having him stay in. Like, it might be good to have them hold the building, to be honest. Alright, well, you know what? Yeah, we'll save that one. We're going to go ahead and we're going to use this jack. We're going to have him move up one time. What he's going to do is he's going to shoot through that window right there. And he's going to try to shoot the guy with the spear. So he's going to try to shoot him twice. That guy moved more than once, so we're looking at a -2 for that. Plus, we'll say the window and stuff is cover. So we're looking at a -3. He gets a +1, so we're really looking at a -2 for this roll. On a 1, I believe that means his gun jams and he's out of ammo. So his second shot is wasted. Rip! He's just like... Oh, well, that's a bunch of poopy, isn't it? Okay. Who's next? Mrs. Squirrel is next. She's over here with her 10. So... You know, Mrs. Squirrel, I don't think she's no dummy. I think she's going to get into some cover. If I can find where I put the ruler. Where'd the ruler go? Oh no. How did I lose the ruler? Sweet Mama Jama, am I blind? Okay, what kind of Mandela bullshit effect is this? Where the hell did the ruler go? Like, oh, there it is. Oh my god. Alright. Mrs. Squirrel's gonna move down here. She's gonna get behind this cover. She ain't no dummy. And she's gonna try to blast the otter with the spear twice. She's just gonna be like... So... It's going to be -2 plus the -1 for her moving. And then she, I think, is just on a 0 for this. So it is going to, unfortunately, be a -3. On a 9, does nothing for the first one. And on a 3 for the other one, does nothing as well. So. Alright. Next up, we've got Mr. Badger here on a 9. Mr. Badger is going to move up to the window, and he's going to take an aim, and then he's going to take a shoot. So the aim token is going to give him +1, so he is going to be on a -2, -1 because of the cover. So he's going to get a +1 for his skills, because I think he's a deputy. Yeah, he's the deputy, so he's going to have a +1. And then he's going to have a +1 for the aim. So we're looking at just a -1 to this. And since he rolled a 5, it doesn't matter. Poopy. Okay. Well, I guess Mr. here is first. So I could have him hit the melee guy, but I think I really want him to hit a ranged guy. So let me look how melee works, because we've actually never had melee so far. Hand to hand. All right. A character must spend 2 actions to enter hand-to-hand, a move action to place the characters in base-to-base contact, and a fight action to initiate combat. Okay, that's cool. Let's see. Each character rolls a d10 and applies the modifier below. Okay, and there's a whole bunch of modifiers on this table here. There we go. Compare the result of the hand-to-hand score. So losing character takes 1 under fire for each point of difference. Okay, so our guy has a hand-to-hand weapon. And he has +1 because he's going to be initiating. Now, isn't there a weapon table for everything? Oh well, we'll count it as a hand-to-hand weapon. Alright, so he's going to move once. He's going to move twice. He's going to get into base to base. He's going to try to fuck this guy up. So he's going to get a +2. The other guy also has a hand weapon, so he's going to get a +1 to his roll. So black is the bad guy, red are the good guys. Good guy got a 9. Bad guy got a 0. Wow, okay. Well, he doesn't have 9 points of life either way, so the +2 doesn't matter. So, yeah, that means that's a 10, so that guy's, like, triple dead. Mr. Squirrel basically just runs up and, like, cuts him in two like fucking Voltron. Oh, he is gone. Oof, that's scary. Hand-to-hand is way more murdery than I thought it would be. Okay, now we are down to the 4s. Well, unfortunately, Mr. Monster Bear, I believe, rolled his 4 first. So he's going to get to go. And he's going to try to maul... maul Mr. Squirrel here, unfortunately. So he's going to be looking at a +2 for hand-to-hand, because he's a giant freaking monster, so I'm saying he gets a +2. And then he's going to get another +1 for initiating. So it's going to be 3. Mr. Squirrel there is going to get a +1. So what do we got? We got a 0 and a 5. Man, what is with rolling the 0 for the alternate dice? Crazy. Well, you know what? Mr. Squirrel might have murdered somebody, cut him right in half, but then he immediately got squished. So he does not have 8 points of life, which is what he would need to survive that terrible, horrible mauling he just got. Okay, the Monster Bear is scary. Good to know. Good to know. Who would have guessed, right? And then we have our 4 here, which is our guy with the bow. How do bows work? Bows, I know, have special rules. They have to reload after every shot or something, but they also do something special. Under fire, nerve test results equal under fire. Oh, I guess you don't have to reload after every shot. You get 3 shots where you have to reload. Under fire and nerve test results equal under fire. Okay, so that actually is worse than like a regular rifle then. Because that means that every time you get an under fire result, you're going to, or an under fire nerve test, it defaults to under fire. That's actually worse. That's unfortunate. I expected the bow to be better. Because, you know, being shot with like a tiny piece of lead from an old ass rifle is a lot different than having someone like shoot a giant freaking arrow at you. Maybe I like inherently just think bows are badass and they mean like crappy, like, you know, like Plains War kind of bow. Alright. Well, good to know. And he gets 3 shots, so he doesn't have to reload. So after each one. So he's going to take all 3 shots. He's going to crank off 1 shot at the otter with the spear, 1 shot at the fox behind him, and 1 shot at the monster bear. You're just going to be like, see what he's got. So, he has an under fire marker, which unfortunately, yeah, I think that means he's a -1 to this. So he's going to have a -1. Let's see what we got. First one's a 12. -1 still makes that an 11. Whack. Second one. Oh, wait, no. This guy would have had a -2 for all his movement. Okay, so that actually wouldn't have done anything. 12. That guy moved twice, so that's a -1, which actually does make it an 11. Third shot with the bow. It's into the monster bear. We're looking at 7, so it doesn't do anything. All right. Now, we got 2 more people, because I loaded up the teams this time. I loaded them up. We have Mrs. Coyote there, who was the freaking star of the show last time, with her 3. And I'm going to use this card, which is take a free aim action. So I'm going to have her aim at the otter with the spear and do the free aim action, then do a shoot action, and then I'm going to have her shoot twice into this guy. So she is unfortunately just out of short range. Well, yeah, she's just out for both of them, unfortunately. Otherwise it'd be +4, which would be pretty badass. But we're going to be +1 to him. He gets a -2. She's also high ground, which means that it's going to be another +1. So this is just going to be an even dice roll. So we're looking at 14. Pop. Alright, and then over to this guy. So he moved twice, so it's going to be +1. She is higher. So we are looking at +1 for that. And then she's already shot. This is her second shot, so it's -1. So that evens out, so it just makes it a -1 to this roll. 1 to 7, it doesn't do anything. We're going to have the same thing again, but it's actually going to be -2. This time I rolled a 16, which is going to make it a 14. Bang, bang! No, not bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang! Bleh. So at least she was scoring some hits. That's pretty good. And last but not least, we have the guy all the way over here that rolled the Joker. He's got a rifle. I'm actually just going to try to put him in like a covering kind of position there behind that cover. And I'm just going to have him shoot out at characters. So he's going to try to shoot Miss Coyote. So he's going to aim and then shoot after his move. So we are... You get 1 move without it affecting your shooting, right? I think you can move once without it affecting your shooting. Yeah, it's not until you take 2 move actions that it affects your shooting. Alright, so he's going to be +1 because of the aim, but she has cover, so it's -1, so this is a flat roll. On a 19. Oh my god, Miss Coyote. I am so... Oh, honey. Honey. Hold on, I have to look. Do you get a -1 for being high ground? I need to know if she lives. No. No. Oh, come on. I knew there was something about high ground in here. Wow. Okay. That's not what I expected to happen. R.I.P. Miss Coyote. She was the star last time. I am big sad, man. She was our hero. Rip. Alright, well, I guess everybody else is going to have to hold it down. Okay, so that is round 1. I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a new hand card. I drew. Play on one of your own yet unactivated characters. When an opponent is activated and declares that it's taking at least one shoot action against your character may take 3 actions immediately. At least one action must be a move action. This counts as activating for the turn. That's badass. Let's go to the hand. Wow, okay. Shit. Alright, well, draw my first card. Let's see what it is. It's a 4. I'm going to give that to Mr. Badger. And then the bad guys got a 6. I'm going to give that to the sniper back here. Okay, and then Mr. Fox, Mr. Bow, and Miss Squirrel, who just watched her husband get mauled to death by a giant monster bear. Goat, bad guy Fox, monster bear, otter. Okay, alright, well, he has an 8. He has a queen. Monster bear has a 7. She has an 8. 7. 10. Jack. Well, these guys pretty much all drew first, so that's going to mean we're going Queen, Jack, 10, 8, 8, 7, okay, 6. Alright. Alright, well, Mr. Bow. Mr. Bow there, who I thought was going to be like crazy, crazy good. Yeah, there he is. Well, he needs to reload. So he's going to reload really quick. Does having an under fire marker... I think I'm getting confused. Does having an under fire marker mean he is -1? Yes. Yes, it does. Okay. Okay. Alright, so he's got to reload. And then he is going to... He is going to aim and put a shot into... I want to get rid of activations. He's going to put a shot into the bad guy Fox after his aim. After he reloads. So... Reloading. And shooting. He rolled a 1. He is out of ammo again. I guess his arrows all like exploded in his hands. Okay. Good. Good. Oh, I can't believe Miss Coyote got fucking 1 shot. That's terrible. Alright. Boss Goat's up. Boss Goat is... You know, he's pretty happy, but he needs to get to his boss. So we're going to have him do that. We're not going to have him stay behind cover forever. So he's going to try to move twice and get to his boss. So they are here to try to free the otter, not just to murder. So he's going to move twice, and he is going to try to shoot, and he is going to try to shoot Mr. Badger inside the house. Because that's the guy closest to the target that he can see. So we are looking at -1 for moving twice, and -1 for the cover between them. And then we are looking at +1 because of his skill in the shot. So at a 16, that becomes a 14, which becomes a 15. So Mr. Badger now needs to make a nerve test. So let's figure out what Mr. Badger's nerve is. He is a deputy. His nerve is 4+. On that D10. He rolled a 1. So, rip. He is not dead, but he's going to take 2 wounds instead of 1 wound. Bonk. Okay. So who's up next? Who's got the next card? Looks like we got a 10. Okay, so Mr. Fox has a 10. Mr. Bad Fox, he's going to basically just do the same thing, right? Like, they're trying to get to these guys. So he's going to move once. He's going to move twice. And he's going to also shoot at the house. Because they're, like, just rushing in, being like... They're trying to save their boss. So he's also going to shoot Mr. Badger inside the house. Mr. Badger this time is not going to take that shit, though. So we're going to use that cool card I got last time, where I immediately get to do 3 actions, one of which is a move. And what we're going to do is we're going to have Mr. Badger bust out this freaking door. He's going to come out here. And he's going to super guns blaze. Alright? He's going to open fire on Mr. Fox, and on Mr. Bad Fox, and open fire on Mr. Goat. So, after he busts out the door. So, we are looking at a -2 because of his 2 wounds, and then a -1 for each of these guys moving twice. However, he gets a +4 on top of his +1. So, we're looking at a +2 to each of these rolls. So, first roll is going to be... It's going to be a 5, so it doesn't matter. Second roll is going to be a 20 +2 -1 makes it 21, which means Mr. Goat is dead. Hell yeah. However, Mr. Badger still gets shot because even though he interrupted, he still gets to take the attack. Rolls a 3, so it doesn't matter. Mr. Badger was tired of getting shot in the house, and he kicked the door open and mowed a guy down. Which I think is pretty goddamn thematic, I'm not going to lie. Also means his activation is spent. Okay, let's see. We've got some 7s, a 6, and an 8. The bad guys had the 8 first, so we'll go ahead and do that. So that's the otter with the spear. He is going to move twice and fight Mr. Badger, who just came out. So as his boss gets gunned down, he charges forward and tries to stab him with his spear. So we're looking at a +1 for being the guy that initiated the fight, +1 for his arm weapon, and then Mr. Badger also has a hand weapon, so we are looking at a +1 for that. And then Mr. Badger is going to get a +1 for this wound, and Mr. Otter is going to get a +2 for that wound. So Mr. Otter in total is +4. Mr. Badger in total is +3. No, Mr. Badger in total is +2. Mr. Otter in total is +4. Alright. 7 and 7. Wow, okay. So that just means Mr. Badger's going to take 2 wounds. Let's see how many wounds Mr. Badger has in total. He is a deputy, which means he has exactly 4 wounds, which is what he's going to be put at. So sadly, Mr. Badger is no more. Blech. Lethal murder game, man. Yep, poor Mr. Badger. Okay, crap. Well, that leaves Mrs. Squirrel here, so we got Mrs. Squirrel. I feel like someone should try to fight the monster bear, but she did just watch it murder her husband. So I think what we're going to do is I think we're going to have her just put some freaking rounds down. So she within short range. Yes. So she's going to aim and then shoot. You know what? We're going to have her move. She's going to move like that, and then she's going to shoot this guy and that guy. So they both move twice, so that's a -1. However, she is a -4, or a +4 from being within short range. So we're looking at +3 to this. Come on, Mr. Squirrel, Mrs. Squirrel. All right, +3 makes that a 19. Blah. And this one is going to actually be an additional -1 because it's her second shot. Thank you. I'm quite happy with my setup. So this one's going to be a +2. Wow. Okay. Last time we had Miss Coyote being the big gun, like the gun badass. Apparently is a pissed off Mrs. Squirrel this time. Okay, that worked really well, actually, surprisingly. And now it is Monster Bear turn. Very unfortunately for Mrs. Squirrel. Bonk. And then it's going to initiate combat. And hopefully she doesn't suffer the same fate as her husband. Spoiler alert, there's no freaking way she's not going to. Let's see what we got. Alright. Black for the bad guys. Red for Mrs. Squirrel. 4 and 3. Mrs. Squirrel does not have a hand weapon. And the bear is going to get +1 for being the initiator, and then +2 for his hand weapons. So that is going to be a +3 on top of that, which makes it 6 versus 2, which means she's going to take 2 wounds. Now she is locked in combat. So next turn, basically all she can try to do is punch the monster bear. So yeah, that should be interesting. She can try to get away, but I think it means that the monster bear gets a free attack on her. So. All right. Well, who's next? I think next up we have Mr. Fox, who needs to reload. And then he is going to try to shoot the monster bear. So he's going to aim and shoot. Because he's aiming, I'm going to say he's not going to have a chance to hit Mrs. Squirrel, because in Deadman's Hand, you're not really supposed to interrupt a combat once it's started. However, I don't think that makes sense, like from a story perspective, right? Like if you're playing entirely spaghetti westerns, sure, and you have two guys punching each other, you don't want someone else to shoot the other guy in the back. I get that, but from the story perspective of these people being attacked by a cult, that doesn't make sense to me, right? They're not going to stand around and let the monster bear maul this lady, right? So I'm going to say he's going to aim. I'm going to say it's going to let him automatically hit the bear. Alright, so we're looking at a +1 for aiming. He is not within 4, unfortunately. And then we are looking at a -1 for the wall. and then a -1 for the bear having moved twice. So we are actually looking at a -1 for this. Actually, +1 for the aiming, minus for that, yeah, -1 for this roll. We got a 7, so it doesn't do jack. Alright. Last but not least, all the way back here down in long downtown, we have the... did I just punch all my models? We have the ferret, or the weasel, with his 6. We're going to take that away. And... wow, we've gone through a lot of initiative cards already. Wow. He is going to shoot down. He's going to try to shoot the archer guy. So he is going to aim and shoot. And then, I guess, shoot again. Although, you know what? He really needs to get downtown. So he's going to aim and shoot and then move. That makes sense. Alright. He rolled a 19, which is going to become a 20. The guy has cover. So that is going to become a 19. This guy is like a freaking sniper. I should put a goddamn scope on his rifle. That is the second person he has one shot. And then we gotta do his move. This guy's like, wow, okay. Like super dead eye. The second one he's hit. Holy shit. Alright. And that concludes turn 2. I was going to say, you know, the guys have to hold out and keep the cult otter prisoner for 6 turns. We're in turn 3, and basically everyone's dead. So, rip. Alright, we got a 7. I'm going to throw that on the sniper. Yep. Well, that's going to go on him. I should have looked at it, but we've got a jack. I'm going to put this on Mr. Sheriff Fox. Each side is down to 2 guys, not counting the monster bear. So, alright, we're going to flip over Monster Bear. Monster Bear has a queen. She's got a 5. Ripperoonie. Okay, well, we're going to... oh, I gotta draw a card for my hand, which is play an opposing character and declare its actions for this turn. It is in or about to enter a building. An upstanding citizen shoots at the dastardly felon. Take a single shot action against the opposing character with no modifiers. Citizen is removed. The character loses any remaining actions. Oh. Interesting. Okay. So it's like a free random shoot, but it also stops all their actions because someone like hits them when they weren't expecting it. It's a cool little interrupt ability. Alright, Mr. Monster Bear. There he is right there. So he's going to maul. So he is looking at +2 for his hand weapon. She has 2 wounds, which makes this a +4. Uh, 8 versus 7 becomes a 12 versus 7, which means she is chomped to bits. Alright, and then he's going to try to move in here, and he's going to try to get within base to base of Mr. Fox. He doesn't have room. We're just going to have to put him up there for now. And look at the card I just got. It's perfect. We're going to use it. We're gonna use the perfect card. So he's gonna take 1 shoot action. So we're looking at a random shoot action with no modifiers. He only technically got to move once, so it doesn't matter. It's a 5, but it does end his turn. Okay, now we have a jack and a 7. We'll use the jack first. What other hand cards do I have? I've got one that makes them waste their shots. And one that makes them waste a nerve test. Okay. Well, Mr. Fox, I think, doesn't have much of a choice but to try to shoot his way out as the monster bear rampages into the cell. So he is going to take all 3 actions being shots. So first one, we're going to be on a -1 because he only moved once, so no minuses there. So this is just going to be a 4 + 1 because of his skill, so it's a +5. That's an 18. Does he like... Okay, let me walk through what just happened. The monster bear just murdered Miss Squirrel in the street, right? Fucking like mauled her to death. Pulled her throat out, annihilation style. Charged into the police station. Got shot by a random civilian. And then is put down with 1 bullet by Mr. Fox. This monster bear that has 10 life. Because that 18 is going to become 24 because Mr. Fox is on +5. Damn. Okay. That was unexpected. But you know what? Not unwelcome because it is very, very interesting and thematic. So, but definitely unexpected. I was expecting the monster bear to basically like rush in here and just smash Mr. Fox like into the floor. So, interesting. Okay. Not how I expected that to go. Then again, last game I did not expect Miss Coyote to like one-shot 2/3 of the enemy team, so. Alright, well, this guy's just going to move. And he's going to move. And he's going to move again. Basically stand right where the corpse of the bear would have been. That's going to conclude turn 3, putting us into turn 4. Each side only has 1 guy. Who goes first? We've got a 10 for Mr. Fox, and we have a 2 for the sniper. Rip. Alright. Oh, and we get to draw another card, which is... Play before the opposing player activates any characters. No play using character may use any recover actions. That's kind of cool. Recover actions are where you get to remove the marks from you. They like damage. Alright, well, Mr. Fox is just going to hold his ground. He is going to aim, shoot, shoot. That's what he's going to do. So we are looking at a +4 for the range, a +1 for his skill, a +1 for his aim, and then a -1 for the double move on that guy. Actually, no, we'll be looking at a -3 for the moves on that guy. So we're looking at +6 on one side, -3 in the other, so +3 to this roll. It's an 18. Holy shit, What? That is not how I expected this at all to go. Interesting though. The sheriff holds the law office and keeps Mr. Otter imprisoned. Wow. Badass. Okay, that's really cool. Big surprised by that though. I did not expect the monster bear to go down. I expected it to like rage through this building and rip everybody apart, but yeah, okay. So that concludes our second campaign game. So let's go ahead and look at the campaign book and see how many points we got and if we want to spend them. So that puts us up to 6 fame. Because we won the last game and we won this game, so we get 6 in total. So let's see. Characters must have a rep of 2 or more to draw on the skills table. Character with 1 rep may be upgraded 2 rep for 2 fame. Otherwise, a character may pay for fame equal to their rep to draw on this table. Okay, so let's do that. I think that Mr. Sheriff, I think he's 6 rep. Let me double check. Because he's the boss. Yep, he's 6 rep. I had 6 fame. Let's draw on the table. So, here is our table. Right? So, I think we're going to shuffle our deck and then draw a card and see what we get. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. So I was going to have this one be like a runaway where the cult's trying to get the resources from like a caravan before it can leave town. However, I didn't finish paying the caravan yet. So, let's see. We're shuffling our little cards. We drew a 4. What's the 4? He is a gambler. Once per scene, may trump a card that affects this model with any card from your hand. Interesting. Okay. Alright, so he's going to be, instead of the fantastic Mr. Fox, he's going to be the lucky Mr. Fox. Nice. Well, that is game 2 of Dead Man's Hand. This continues to be a really good game. Just fantastic. It really is this really nice mix between Frostgrave and Necromunda. Like, it's just this perfect mix between the two. I cannot sing its praises enough. Really, really good stuff. So, what I have coming up for this, I have a caravan I'm building. I've got a couple more little bits and bobs of terrain. I don't have any, like, crazy substantive pieces right now, but, you know, working on that. So what I'd like to do is I would like to do, like, an abandoned mine, I think would be really cool. Or maybe like a train track kind of thing. I think would be really neat and very fitting for, like, the scenario. But yeah, really, really fun. It just wonderful game. Wonderful. Yeah, so good. I'm really looking forward to, like, I don't know, just trying to get it to play out different little stories, right? Because I think this game is very good for that. Like, it gives you a really nice, like, a base where, like, stories can just happen while you're playing. You know, like the monster bear, right? Like, what did the monster bear do? It charged, it murdered a guy who had just cleaved a cultist in half, like Voltron, right? And then his, like, lady walks over, like, one-shots 2 cultists in the freaking back, and then gets charged and also murdered by the same thing that just killed her man. The monster bear then tries to charge into the building, is shot by a random civilian, and then is one shot down by the sheriff. Like, just crazy, you know? Absolutely crazy stuff. I love it though. I think it's really good. Really, really good. But that's where I'm going to go ahead and call it. Fantastic game. I will try to play again next weekend. Instead of actually playing a game, what I might do is I might sit down with the channel and make an AI set for this game. So it's not like me having to pick what I think the mobs should be doing. It's actually going to be an AI logic set, but in a very, very simple way to do it. I'm not a big fan of big conditional tables. I think they are bad design. So I have like an action priority system in mind that I'm going to come up with that's based off of the cards. So when you draw 4, for example, that character is going to have an action priority. When you draw the jacks, that character is going to have an action priority. So what I think I might do next weekend instead of playing, because I think I'm going to go down to Honolulu and play Fallout on Saturday. So on Sunday, I think instead of playing, what I'm going to do is build that card set, like build that logic set on the channel, and we'll put that together. I also think it'd be cool to have a table where each animal has different like buffs, right? Like maybe the coyotes are naturally better shots and the foxes are naturally better at dodging or something. Like I think that would be really cool to make like a bullets and badgers kind of like animal table for it. Because I've been pretty much just straight up using the rules from Deadman's Hand, except I've been ignoring the requirements for whatever weapon the model has, and I've just been using whatever the weapon the model has. Technically means they're probably not equally like leveraged, but I mean I gave one faction in this a freaking monster bear, and the good guys still won, right? Like what are the odds of that? I was very much expecting them to get run over. So yeah, but we'll look forward to playing again. Well, like I said, I think next time, I think we will probably make that logic table. Or we'll see how I am for energy. Maybe I'll build a logic table off stream, and then we'll try it out on stream. We'll see. But definitely more Deadman's Hand coming up. Because, man, this game... So it's really funny, right? Like, I'm not the biggest fan of cowboys as a setting. Like, I'm just really not. But, dude, this game has just, like, straight up captured my imagination. It's just been so much fun. I think it's the like Files Goes West animals that I did for it. Because I think if I did it with just regular cowboys, I don't think I would actually be that into it. I think the whole like Rango kind of thing makes it more interesting. So. Alright, that's it for me though. Thank you guys for watching. Very, very fun again. Cannot wait to play more. But I'm going to go ahead and call it there. I hope you guys all have a good rest of your evening, and keep on keeping on.